Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're taking a look at the brand new item that just got released. This is the Jurassic World Rebirth Titanosaurus. So this one just came out at Target June 1st. It's a little earlier than our annual Sauropod that we usually get around September, October time. This one is also $69.99. It went up just a bit. This one is about to be 59 inches long when fully built, and it's heavily featured in the new film. So we're going to take a look at it. I'm going to have to put it together to see how big it really is. So I'm outside the regular studio to make a bigger section so we can actually see this whole thing built. So this box is pretty heavy. It comes in many pieces, it's like 7 to be exact. And yeah, this is the other side of the box. These are available now for $69.99. And we will be opening this in a second.
First thing out of the box I noticed is it has a bit of a clown face. My little helpers helped me put it all together. And it almost looked like the Dino Review ones. But I would assume this was what was given to them as far as concept material. And they were, I'm glad that they were even able to make a whole sauropod, because it takes 12 to 18 months to come up, with a concept to the shelf. So it's nice that they were able to get this out on time. And I would say also, this is actually pretty cool. When I first heard about the fins being on the sauropod, I was kind of like, no different. But these, if you can see, is actually transparent. So they're not just plasticky. They're like kind of soft plastic, transparent. Almost like fish fins. Kind of cool. So she is huge. I will say she is huge. So, okay, so he's kind of black and gray. And then you get the color, the striping down this way. It's kind of cream. And then it goes all the way down. It has quite a few colors on this particular dinosaur. So he has more like the gray like Brachiosaurus. Let's see. Yeah, more like gray like Brachiosaurus. But he does have like large patches of black going up, like all the way up. So this one has lacking is the articulated head. And I would say it's lacking because, let me show you guys in a second.
All right, so that was kind of hard to show with one hand while doing it. So basically, this one has an articulated neck. Okay, so the first thing first would be this. It does go left to right pretty nicely. And then it also has an articulated neck, kind of like the Brachiosaurus one we have, the same type of joint. But this time it's way tighter, but not too tight like the one we had in Fallen Kingdom. Or the main. So he can go all the way down, kind of like this, and then you can go all the way back. I like to keep it in the middle, so it's he's still looking kind of straight ahead. One thing I will say that's lacking is the articulation on the head. I think this one would benefit a lot more from the articulated head joint. So he gets able, even at his highest, he will be able to look straight versus just looking up at the sky. Like the one we had in Diplodocus last year. You can see the head joint here. Much better. So you're able to pose it differently. Alright, so after that, we already talked about this. So we were able to see there is white stripes going up and little blotches here. Little blotches. I don't know. Let's see. You can see it better on the phone. I can get a better look at it. I'll zoom in a little bit more. And then we have some more black striping type thing going down to the back. And then the rest of the body of the dinosaur is kind of just Brachiosaurus gray. Until the tail you get the black and whiteness in the striping. And this one, I'll show you guys the detail in a second, but as far as articulation, it's this basic articulation we have known. The legs, can move front, back. It's actually, to be a sauropod, it's not that heavy. It's pretty hollow in there. And then the tail we have articulated tail, ball joint, along with the sail, like the one up there. I really like this soft plastic, almost like foot roll-ups. And then it's all the way down to the end. Lengthwise, realistically talking, I think this will be the biggest one, but the fact that the tail is in a hook, so it's around the same length as Dreadnoughtus. But if the tail was straight, I'm sure it would be the longest one. So yeah, this is the color of the the Titanosaurus. I kind of wish they could have waited a little bit, maybe. You know, the thing with that is it takes 12 to 16 months. So if we waited another year, we might be having a more accurate looking one, but we have to wait a year for it. So maybe I'm happy with the one we have now. The clown face just kind of bothers me. So let's take a closer look at the details of this particular one.
All right, so now let's look at the detail of this Titano. Like, you see all the nice little bumps and scales. Not scale, well, kind of little bumps. Like I said, the body reminds me of the Brachiosaurus body, the figure, but it's definitely different. And this is the cream paint that goes up. As you can see, it definitely could have benefited from the articulation on the head. So this part you can move. And the paint kind of abruptly stopped here. You can still see all the details. Like, it definitely could have benefited from more paint. Like, it could have really made it more pop looking. And a little for roll-ups over here. Kind of cool, right? How transparent and stuff it is. So it goes all the way to the back, and this is the second section in the tail that you can kind of pose it the way you want it, so it can fit on your shelf, or yeah. And this part is just one long tail, but it looks almost like iguana tail. So it's black and cream all the way back. Just a little section of it. That's actually pretty huge of a toy compared to a human figure. So this is the Sauropod we're getting this year. I'm very happy about it because I thought, honestly, a couple of years ago that would have stopped. And then Diplodocus came, and then Titano came. So yes, so while not exactly film accurate, I'm happy we got one. And I'm happy that we got it this early this year. Usually we have to wait a bit, but hey, we finally got it. So now let me get some of the other sauropods together, get the gal pals together, and compare them to different sizes.
Right, now I gotta do the impossible of fitting all these sauropods to compare it with Titano. Alright, so the first one we're gonna do, let's do, well, this is the first sauropod we got, the Brachiosaurus, but this is actually the Dominion version, but it's the same sculpt. But like I told you earlier, the body-wise, it looks almost just like the Titanosaurus. So let's see. Pretty much Titano, definitely thicker, neck-wise thicker. Like this one, also, like I said, doesn't have the neck articulation, so your neck kind of is stuck for what it is. You can't really face it any other way. But this was the first one we got. As you can see, look how much longer Titano is. Brachiosaurus, one that started it all. Oh, maybe I can put you in the back. Yeah, maybe let's do it here. There we go. Alright, so the next one we got is an Apatosaurus that came out of the Legacy Collection. I always thought this one was kind of oversized for what she is. And I think Target was just trying to, not Target, Mattel was trying to make a better toy. Just a bigger toy, you know, being a sauropod. When you hear sauropod, they're huge. But no, it's just a oversized Apatosaurus. Lengthwise, definitely doesn't compete. This one, it's just the proportion to me is always off. Look how thick it is. And then compared to this one. This one's a heavy one, for whatever reason. Yeah, so Titano still definitely is the biggest one of them all currently. Let's see.
So the next one we got was actually Dreadnoughtus herself. Now she was featured in the Dominion. This was a long one. So lengthwise, like I said, lengthwise they're pretty competitive with each other. If Titano's tail was actually straight, it would be longer than Dreadnoughtus. So definitely, Titano still would be the winner of this whole Sauropod contest. But as you can see, even me showing you different ones, the evolution of Mattel's necks. So we started off from regular Brachiosaur neck like Titanos, and then Apatosaurus, they added this joint that goes left and right. It doesn't do much for the toy aesthetically. And this one also suffers from no neck joint, but it has a really nice head and a really thick neck. Also has, that's where Titano also gained from the second articulation from here. All right, so that is Dreadnoughtus. Comparable, but not longer than that. And then Mattel actually came up with a Hamlet Collection Brachiosaurus. So it's a little bigger than a regular Brachiosaurus. You can actually compare it. It's not taller than Dreadnoughtus. However, the tail is longer than a regular Brachiosaurus, but still not as long as Titano. But this one has a pretty cool feature. You're able to make it stand on its hind legs. Pretty cool, pretty impressive piece, really. And it wasn't bad. It was like $80. Pretty cool. Very iconic. Put that out. And then the one after that we got was Brachiosaurus. So this one we got definitely shorter. Brachiosaurus is, yeah, no. Titano's way longer. He does have a longer neck. And he also like has articulation, but you can see he has the head articulation here. That benefits from making different poses. So now Titano's still so far the winner of this competition. Let me see. And last but not least, Diplodocus. While short, it is one of the longest one we have. Let's see. Let me see if I can get back there and able to make better. Okay, Titano's here. Comparable, yes. Longer, no. And Diplodocus also suffer from the hook tail, so you don't really sometimes get the real length of it. Put it here. Alright, maybe I got everyone. Alright, so now that we're at the end here, maybe, yes. Now that we're at the end, Titano definitely is actually the biggest one Mattel has came up with yet. Very simple colors and very special because it has these little fins in the back. And I applaud that they are able to get these dinosaurs out so quick. This one, I still, like I said earlier, surprised they came out so early. I'm glad that it did. So $69.99 currently at Target. If you you can probably wait for a sale. I feel like Sauropods constantly goes on sale. And this guy, actually, I found some at Target earlier this week for $21. Diplodocus. So if you need the Sauropod, get it now. And I will say also, they definitely fixed the problem with the tail, because Diplodocus is very tail heavy, so its tail is like on the floor, it's kind of dragging. Even though this one has a really, really long tail, it's not as heavy as that one. It's definitely more hollow. So you're able to put the tail up like a regular dinosaur versus just dragging on the floor. So thank you guys for watching. I really enjoyed this one. You know, I usually enjoy my Sauropod review every year.
So thank you guys for watching, and like and subscribe. I have tons more coming up. I have a few dinosaurs actually getting in the mail today, so I'll see you guys soon. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys later.